Let me ask you something. Have you ever driven home, pulled into your driveway, and realized you don't remember the drive? That's autopilot. Now, here's a scary question. What if you're doing that to your whole life? Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. And today we're going to talk about you're living on autopilot and it's costing you your life. I was actually talking to somebody earlier on this week, maybe a Monday or so, or Sunday. I'm not sure. It might have been Sunday, but the fact that we were talking about cold plunges and cold plunges, I just don't. You could cold plunges. I just don't understand. Like I guess I just don't fully understand them because I'm not a big fan of the cold plunges. And if you Google cold plunge for good or cold plunge for bad, you're gonna come up with a whole list of things on why they're bad and why they're good for you, and you have to like decide whether or not these are gonna be good for you or not. In my life, I don't see the need to jump into 40-degree water and stress the nervous system even more than what it already is right now. And so I like to think about cold plunges. I've done cold showers and things like that. Like I've done like I like to think about cold plunges as the like you're on autopilot in your life. You're working that 9 to 5. You don't really have any stressors in your life. You're so bored. You're like, I need something to gain this spark back to hit the dopamine because I don't have anything else in my life. Like that's the person that needs to jump in the water and prove to themselves that they do have life inside them. They have some kind of spark. They have some kind of dopamine, adrenaline rush from it because they're not getting it anywhere else in their life. They're not working out. They're just going to work. They're driving home. They don't remember even coming home. They don't remember driving to work. And then they're like, I don't even know I did at work because it was just it's the same thing over and over. You're just punching spreadsheets or whatever the boring thing is that you do. And so therefore, me personally, being an entrepreneur, having kids, having a wife, having everything going on in my life, I'm working out. I wake up early. Like I do everything else that needs to be done. I just don't think I need to be jumping into cold water to stress my life even more because of the fact that I don't have the day-to-day autopilot that's just boring in my life. Your brain loves routine. Your brain is designed to automate, and that's okay. That's good. I love automation. I love things going the right way. This week has been super thrown off, and here it is Tuesday. I don't have my lunches prepped. So until the entire life becomes automatic, you stop asking, am I happy? Is this where I want to be? Am I becoming the person I want to become or even wanted to become? Those are all valid questions. And that was me in 2013 running the CrossFit gym. This one right here. But it's one of those things where I was so lost in life. And right now I'm only partially lost. Like I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I have read the books. I've done the morning journaling. I've done everything that you're supposed to do. And you got to figure out what works for you. And the way my morning routine works and the automatic things that I do works for me. But I still have other things outside my control that are not automatic that get thrown into the mix. And that's part of the joy of my life, going to do those things. Comfort is seductive. Autopilot feels safe because it doesn't require courage, doesn't require any change, any risk involved. It's just you're just going there and back. Like it's all you're doing. There's no actual risk. The decisions are easy. You just say, okay, I'm going to work. I'm coming back home. I'm going to eat. Blah, blah, blah. But comfort quietly steals the possibility of being able to do exciting things in your life. Go on the trip. Start a new job. Start a new career. Start your own business. Start the YouTube channels. Build your social media up. All sorts of different things. Go out on a date. That's pretty scary nowadays. I couldn't imagine going on a date. I've been married almost 15 years. I don't know. 2011, so 15 years. I couldn't imagine going on a date with somebody else, like asking somebody out on a date. I don't want to find out. I love my wife. I want to go and date my wife. I don't really have to ask her. I'm like, hey, I'd still ask her for a date. Hey, you want to go out to dinner? Blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't imagine doing it with somebody else. That's super scary to me. You don't want to wake up one day and ruin your life. You slowly stop paying attention to it. And, you start turning to alcohol and drugs and maybe you have a sex addiction. Like there's all sorts of different things that can happen by not letting, by falling into this routine that you're in, and being able to jump out of it. A lot of times it's hard until something actually like hits you, or somebody hits you over the head and be like, man, you got to just snap out of this. One day becomes someday. We've all been to someday aisle. One day I'll do this. People say, I'll travel later. I'll start later. I'll get healthier later. I'll spend more time with my kids later. I'll write the book later. Later becomes never. And one of the best trips that we've all talked about, from my kids to the wife, is she booked us a flight at like midnight, the red eye from Pensacola to Denver. We stayed in a hotel at the Denver airport, got up at 7, drove to Seven Falls. Then we hiked it. And then went to the hotel, went to the Gardens of the Gods. And then the next morning, we got up, hiked the Manitou incline, went back down the long way, jumped in the car, went to the airport. And of course, the flight was delayed, but flew back in at like midnight. And it was like a 1.5-day trip. It was one of the most fun, exciting trips that we've done. And we booked it probably 2 weeks before. So we were just like, let's go. We rented a car, obviously, while we were over there. But just those spur of the moment things. And the kids still talk about it today. Harper doesn't want to go back, but Eleanor does. Harper will go do some other stuff. She don't want to do the Manitou incline again, but Harper does. And there's so many other things that you could do over there. But those little small trips will be ingrained in those minds forever. And it's awesome. Like, you're not on the autopilot. You just throw it out there and just go for it. The cost of autopilot, you lose experiences like I just talked about, your memories, your relationships, your opportunities, and your purpose. Life wasn't stolen. It was just repeated. You're just living in the Truman Show over and over and over. Or even the Groundhog Day, just same thing, over and over and over and over. There's no excitement. There's no experiences. There's no memories you're making because it's the same thing over and over. And the relationships are probably the same. You don't meet new people. And it's definitely not going to be more new opportunities because of the fact that you're doing the same thing. Until you start meeting new people and you're putting yourself out there, you're not going to have any new opportunities. Or if you got to change your friend group a lot of times. Just also meeting new people. So you got to wake up, ask yourself every morning, what would make today meaningful? Not productive, but meaningful. Every day, you should be grateful for just waking up, and you should be grateful for what you have going on in your life. You should be grateful that you get to go meet some new people. You should be grateful that you have a car, you have eyes that you can see, like all sorts of different things to be grateful for. So when you wake up, today is going to be so meaningful that you're going to be able to make an impact on yourself and on some other people. It doesn't even have to be like a huge impact, just a tiny, tiny little impact. It's going to be super rewarding, and it's going to give you a little dopamine hit, and it's going to get you out of that comfort zone, helping those people. But you don't need a new life. You need to wake up to the one you already have, because someday you'll give anything to have one more ordinary Tuesday. And that's special. That's super special. Think about that a little harder. That's the pod. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. Hope you have a great day.